Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure you click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time. Or outside of my YouTube, you can consider joining the Discord I've created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. Many times people ask me what kind of food or what kind of meals I'm eating to help me lose weight. And that Pinterest board is a great place for you guys to see some of those recipes that we've been enjoying. Today is day 884 of my challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose over 240 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. If you are succeeding with your diet, let us know what you're doing to succeed so we can share it with everyone else. If you're struggling with your diet, let us know what's causing some of your struggles. What are these hurdles you're not able to get over? Maybe we can help you out. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you can do or that you are going to do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead and switch over to the main here. So Pretty Girl's mom checking in said, I thought I was going to be late. No, you were early. I got started late today. It was a very busy Monday. Just a lot going on. We're really getting into the start of our busy season at work here. So lots of things going on. And so I had to push my start time a little bit later. That may become more common as we get into the summer, but I'll do my best to try to keep starting as close to 4 p.m. as I can. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We definitely had a crazy weekend. It started off Friday night with a severe weather storm, severe weather storm warning, and then a storm front came through that did not hit us as hard as it could have hit us, or that they predicted that it might hit us, but we still had a lot of wind, a lot of branches and stuff like that in our yard from that. But then Saturday, Sunday, the weather was really nice. Sunday morning especially, the weather was awesome. Just kind of nice to be outside for a little bit. We did a little bit of cleaning up in the house, but I was definitely happy to be outside when I was able to get outside on Sundays. So kind of went from the weekend was in like a lion and out like a lamb, right? Just like the month of March, I guess, came out like a lion. So it must have been in like a lamb. Let's see here. A quick go ahead and go over food since last Friday here. Let me get the right screen up. So I have no idea what the name of this meal that we had Friday night was. It looks very similar to our Mega Veggie Chili, but there is celery in here, and I don't think we put spinach in our Mega Veggie Chili. This was really good. I don't know what it was called, but it was really good. Hey, Janet, how you doing? I hope you're having a great day and you had a good weekend. Just going over food from the weekend here. So I'm not sure what the name of this meal was, but it was really good. Hey, how you doing, Sonia? So I'm curious how to pronounce your name. If you're able to try to put it in phonetically or whatever. Because I called you Sonia for a very long time, and then I noticed that that's probably not how you say that name. So, anyways, thank you. Yes, and it was delicious, and I can't think of the name of it, but it was a great dinner. So Friday, I was scrambling when I got home. Because we had that storm front coming. Oh, my power went out. So, yeah, the last time you guys saw me was just the stream just dropping. So, I hope I didn't worry anybody. But we just had a slight power flicker here, and that caused my stream to go down. And I was like, well, that's a good enough sign that I should probably head home. So, I headed home. And Sonia's fine. You're used to it. Okay, no problem. So I headed straight home from work, and I hadn't eaten all day because at the beginning of the day, Carrie was planning on coming in, and she usually brings in our breakfast with her in the morning. So I didn't end up eating all day at work. Carrie, what's the name of this dish that we had Friday evening for dinner? I'm very curious. And so is everybody else as well. So Friday, got home, and we had the storm warning stuff going on, and I was very hungry, so I was like, well, I want to get food in my belly as quick as possible. So I had some of this soup, and then also because I wasn't sure if we were going to lose power or not, I decided to throw some fruit in the stove. I heated up the stove real quick to 350 degrees, and then I took some frozen fruit and a fresh apple, and I just threw that in there. This is not a very impressive photo of what I made, but it was really good. And I joked with Carrie that all the juices from the different kind of berries in there all mixed together really gave me like this wine flavor or this wine taste to the food. But yeah, I put that together in case we lost power. I didn't want to wait, and we never lost power. We didn't have any issues with the storm that bad. So Carrie says that the soup that I showed here was, we've had this before. It was the vegetable soup with farro from Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior Cookbook. Yes, and it was very good. The farro gives it a great texture. You know, we've had barley and farro. Both of those give it a great texture. This is definitely one that, although we didn't have leftovers, we might have had leftovers of this. Carrie might have ate the leftovers of this. I bet the leftovers of this are far better than the initial. If you let that farro sit in the liquid for a long time, I'm sure that it makes it pretty awesome. And like I said, I think Carrie might have had the leftovers of that. I don't think I did. But we'll find out because I took photos, I think, of most things. So then Saturday, woke up, had broccoli for breakfast. I guess I did not take a photo of my oatmeal here. I got a new tattoo on Saturday morning as well. So there's my new tattoo there. It's a pretty awesome tattoo. And let's see here. So then Saturday for lunch, cauliflower and broccoli steamer bag with a few potatoes on it here. Let's see. Barb, hello. Yes, that soup was amazing. I hope you're having a great Monday. We did have leftovers. We both ate it for lunch yesterday, you think. So, yeah, I might have had that yesterday for leftovers. But Saturday was potatoes and broccoli for lunch. That is just more of the same meal. And then this was Saturday's dinner. I always butcher the name, but this was like a mushroom gravy that Carrie made with carrots that we mixed in with some potatoes for dinner on Saturday evening. Also really good. Something that Carrie was kind of craving that, I feel like, or she had mentioned that for a couple days. So that's what we had for dinner on Saturday. Sunday, broccoli in the morning. Let me see. I got a lot of photos here from other things. Let's see. So I guess I didn't take photos of my oatmeal, and I did take a photo. So I did have more of the leftovers from the vegetable soup with farro on Sunday. So yes, I did have more of that. Here's a few photos of me that I was messing with, trying to get clear the background on, but those are some old photos of me. I'm much different looking now than I am in those photos. Then for dinner yesterday, Carrie was like, what's something we haven't had for a while? And I was like, we haven't had Linda's meatloaf for a while. So Carrie busted out the recipe and made some Linda's meatloaf, and she made a little ketchup that we put on top of it. I did not eat all of that. I thought I could. My eyeballs were bigger than my stomach. I ate a lot of it, but I was not able to get through all of it. So Carrie helped me finish it off. But that was a big plate of food last night. And we hadn't, like I said, we hadn't had it for a while, and it was a good change, a good meal to have. It's kind of nice that I have all these photos of food in my phone, because Carrie kind of yesterday was like, I want to make something that we haven't had for a while. And so I was able to go through and just kind of be like, well, let me look at my photos from 6 months ago and see if there's anything that we haven't had there. Let's see. Janet says you're making the carrot mushroom red lentil today. That sounds delicious. And yes, that's from the Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior cookbook. Yes. Oh, so yeah, we had the potatoes. We had a ton of potatoes this weekend, so I think Carrie wanted something other than potatoes this as well. Yes, Sonia, that is it is some sort of markers. They washed off, or they were able. Yeah, we were able to use alcohol and get them off pretty easily. It did take alcohol though to get them off. Let's see. Yes, Carrie says the neighbor girl brought over tattoo markers, and then she claims that they would last 2 weeks. And our daughters, yes, our kids had back tattoos and arm tattoos and whole body tattoos. So let me see. I think I just have photos of food from today now. So today was oatmeal. I think that was the first oatmeal photo I took all weekend. So those of you that love seeing the oatmeal, here you go. That was our oatmeal, and then broccoli this morning, and then potatoes, cauliflower, and broccoli. I've been eating a lot more of the cauliflower and broccoli mix. I enjoy it. It's something that, because we've been having a hard time getting just straight broccoli, we've started buying that. But I do really enjoy the mix as well as the just the straight broccoli. So that was food for the weekend. It was a wonderful weekend full of wonderful foods and lots of good time just being with the family. It was a nice weekend. We Carrie says that tonight she thinks it's going to be Mega Monday over here, so that means we're having Mega Veggie Chili tonight. So yeah, what are you guys having for dinner tonight? I'd love to hear what everybody else is eating, or what you did eat as well. Let me know. But yeah, the weekend was a lot of family time Friday, or kind of, we were all in the basement together Friday waiting for the storm to pass. And then Saturday we had an event for my daughter that we kind of all had to hang out all day. So it was a good weekend overall. Today I was going to just talk about, kind of do a recap of my first year and my initial success with my weight loss. I know there's a lot of people out there looking for a diet plan or program that's going to work for them, and that it's how I lost 200 pounds in my first year is not necessarily how I would recommend other people lose weight. And I would say that the amount of weight that I lost in 1 year is probably about as much as somebody could lose in 1 year. In order to even get close to that amount of weight to lose, the first thing that I had to do was get to the point where I had well over 200 pounds to lose. If I had only had 200 pounds to lose, I never would have been able to lose 200 pounds in a year. But because I had over 300 pounds to lose, that even became possible for me to lose that amount of weight. That's the first thing, I guess. So if you're sitting there and you're 100 pounds overweight, or you're 200 pounds overweight, and you're thinking, okay, I can do something, I can get it done in a year, it's not really the case. Like, you are going to get a bunch of weight off at the very beginning when you lose weight. And it's so motivating when you lose all that weight at the very beginning, but it slows down. And, as you get closer to a normal weight, you're going to have, it's not going to be as quick. So, getting it in your head that you can lose all of your weight in a very quick, short amount of time is bad thinking. And it's very hopeful thinking, and I understand why people would be so hopeful. And when you do the math after your first week of weight loss, and you're like, well, I lost 10 pounds this week. If I lose 10 pounds every week for the next year, I'll lose 500 pounds. Well, it'd be great if the math worked that way, but it doesn't work that way. Again, you're going to have this high amount of weight loss at the very beginning, and it's going to, over time, it's going to slow down, and that's when it becomes more difficult, is when the weight slows down, because you start to question the things that you're doing. You start trying to shake things up, and I think that a big reason why I was able to lose all that weight so quickly is because I stayed committed to it for, the whole time. I'm still committed to it, but, you have to have that level of commitment that you're going to, stick through it no matter what happens. You're not going to let a bump in the road cause, you to go off the tracks and start eating all the crap that you used to eat. You have to be very committed to what you're doing, and you have to try to form, a consistent, I think that very early on, having a routine or trying to create some consistency within your program is really great, because you can rely on that routine for a while. And understand that eventually that routine's going to get interrupted. Everybody who starts off with any type of workout program says, okay, I'm going to work out 3 days a week, or I'm going to go do a walk every morning. That's great at the beginning, and you might be able to plan out your next month or your next 2 months, but planning out your next 6 months, your next 10 months, your next 2 years, your next 20 years, it's very impossible to make that plan, So when you first start, stick to the routine, build a foundation that you can grow out off of, but understand that eventually that routine is going to get interrupted, and you have to be doing something that can be interrupted and still succeed. That's where a lot of my other diets in the past had failed, is that, the program I was on, if there was any interruption, then it caused a, catastrophe, that was very difficult to recover from. But with the way I'm eating now, it's very easy to recover, and it's taken me time to learn how to recover, because that's something that we get. I'm guessing that if you're very overweight like I was, you're not great at getting right back on the wagon. You don't have good luck with, rebounding the same day, or sometimes even the same week or the same month, getting back on program. And a lot of what that comes from is this old way of dieting, because a lot of what I'm talking about is going to be with the lens of how I'm eating with this low calorie, high volume diet. But how I used to eat, I would always be starving. So when I would have something off plan, I would latch to that and I would just go at it, and I would never get back on plan. I never had a way to get back on plan. I never had anything set up to make it easier for me to get back on plan. And so it was difficult to get back on plan. So I just wouldn't do it. And by not completing that task of getting back on track, you don't get any practice at it. With this diet, I was perfect on this diet for almost the whole first year. It was probably 10, 11 months that I was perfect. I would say perfect on the diet. And then I had that lapse. I had that snackcident. I had that event where we were out of town and that was no good option, or I decided in my head that there was no better option. And so I had that happen. And because I was not starving when we ate that food, that's a big part of it. But because I wasn't starving when I ate it, and because I went back to eating a large volume of low calorie dense food shortly after eating it, I was able to get back on. But even that length of time that it took me, even if it took me a day to get back on track, I got back on track, and I practiced getting back on track. And so the whole second year, I really had lots of issues where I would go a week and then the weekend would come and I would have kind of an issue with being tempted by a food. And then for the next week, I'd be great. And it'd repeat the cycle every weekend. But every week I was getting back on track and I was getting better at it. And then I was able to stay on track for a longer period of time. And then eventually, I'm to the point now where I can say that I haven't had any added salt, oil, or sugar in my food. I haven't had any animal products since November of last year. So I am at 5+ months since I've been back on track, and that I've not been concerned about going off track. And even if I did go off track, I feel like I'm so practiced in the in doing it that it wouldn't be difficult for me, because I've been eating this way. I know what happens when I eat that food, and I know how to get back. And I did that because I stayed committed to the diet. And I committed to learning, committed to understanding it better, and not just flipping the chessboard as soon as the things didn't go my way. Let's see, a bunch of people checking in with what they're eating here. Pretty Girl's mom says you're having African peanut soup. Sonia says you're having lots of kidney bean, chili, okra, and sweet potatoes. Sounds delicious. Barb's got a Hannah yam, or half a Hannah yam, some air fried carrots and summer squash and sweet cherries. Just keeping it simple. Pretty Girl's mom says candy snap grapes for desserts. That sounds delicious. Yes, that's awesome. Jean, hello, Jean. I hope you're doing great. Did the weather hit you hard up there? We were kind of worried. But yes, your dinners sound wonderful. I'm coming over. Save me a plate. Yeah, that's great. And that's these foods, whole food, plant-based, eating abundance of foods. It's, like Sonia says, they're eating a lot of kidney bean chili. They're not saying I'm just eating kidney bean chili. I'm eating lots of it, that's what I love about this diet, is that it's a volume diet. And that's how I've lost the weight, is by eating food, by eating large quantities of low calorie dense foods, is how I lost the weight. And but to go through the timeline from the first year here, I did start off my weight loss with a water fast. My intention was to water fast for a month, and I felt so good at the end of the month that I pushed it for 42 days. And water fasting has changed my life. I would say that you don't have to water fast as long as I water fasted to see the benefits from water fasting. And that is just the start. That was just the initial momentum, the initial thing that propelled my weight loss. But it's not how I've continued to lose weight. My first 90 pounds were lost within the first 42 days. And so since then, I've lost an additional 150 pounds. So, although I lost a lot at the beginning, I've lost more through diet than I did through fasting. Fasting, I feel like, is a great opportunity for you to reset your body. If you're dealing with having addictions to caffeine, having addictions to foods, or, feeling like you don't have control over your food, water fast, a mono diet, a juice fast, all of those things are great ways to reset your system, to say, hey, this is what is available now. And I think our bodies are designed for these resets. I think that that's really what is part of this, of our history. If we were these nomadic people, that we would travel and then we would be, we wouldn't necessarily be in the same place this summer as we are next summer, or the things that grow around us aren't going to be the same this summer as next summer. So we go through that period of spring where food is scarce, sort of like if you were to fast or mono diet, all you have is just the few potatoes left that you have, kind of thing. But then when spring comes in, you have to, refeed on the foods that are around you. And if you change the foods that are around you during your refeed period after your fast, that I believe that feeds into our body's biology. That, it might make sense that if we were on one side of the mountain last summer and now we're on the other side of the mountain this summer, that the food we have available to us is different. So I think fasting is a great reset of our body. I feel like it is a wonderful opportunity to get rid of those addictions, get rid of those things. But it's far more important to start eating a clean and healthy diet. Like I said, that's where I've lost a lot of my weight since then. Let's see. And so after I water fasted, I refed. I started eating a whole food, plant-based diet with no added salt, oil, or sugar. One of the first meals we had was the Mega Veggie Chili here. But after I water fasted, I decided to wait 10 days or 8 days or so before I got on the scale again, because I knew, or I had been told, that there would be a rebound of weight. And I had some experience with water fasting in the past, so I anticipated there being a weight rebound. But 8 days after my water fast, I hopped on the scale. I had lost an additional 10 pounds. So my body really did not want to hold on to that extra weight that I had. And then switching to a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet. Like I said, I stuck to the diet. I made sure to eat lots of food. I never let myself get hungry like I had with the water fast. I ate very simply. If I was hungry, I would go and buy cans of corn. I would buy cans of pineapple, just to have food in my stomach if I was not able to make something more elaborate or have something more elaborate. A big part about this diet is making sure that you've eaten a lot, because the food you're eating is so low calorie that you need to eat a lot of it. And because we've been trained by all these old diets to moderate how much we eat, we get stuck in that mentality that, I shouldn't eat that much food because I'll put myself in a calorie surplus. Well, that's not the case with this food. So, early on, when we weren't great at having potatoes at work and bags of broccoli at work, I was trying to find different ways to keep food in my stomach that worked simply for me. And when I first started, I think that, anybody who's especially has a lot of weight to lose, don't get hung up on all of the don't ranking your foods good to bad, as long as they fall in the category. I guess what I'm getting at is like the avocados, the juices, the nuts, the nut butters, those things. If you have to eat those things to be satisfied, you're still going to see weight loss. If you're starting off like I started off, where you have a lot of weight to lose, just by changing to eating the fats from plants, your avocados and your nuts, that itself isn't going to hinder your weight loss to the point that you need to worry about it. As you get further down, like where I'm at now with my diet, and I've lost 240 pounds and I'm trying to lose that last 60 pounds, now I concern myself with the avocados, the nuts, and the juices. I don't have them in my diet because it's more important now for me to remove them than it was when I first started. I think a lot of people get this idea in their head that they have to be perfect. And I talked about the routine earlier. You get it in your head that you have to be perfect. And you need to get that idea out of your head very quickly. You need to understand that you don't know how to eat. And, even you can study how to eat right. You can watch the videos, you can make the plans, but until you actually put it into practice, you don't have any experience eating right, eating a way that is truly healthy. And so there wouldn't be any reason for you to believe that you would succeed right away. And so I guess you could use baseball as an example. You could grow up watching every game of baseball that your local team played. You could understand how the rules of the game work. You could understand the everything, all the stats that are in baseball. But that doesn't mean you know how to hit the ball with the bat. It doesn't mean you know how to field a ground ball or catch a fly. And so until you actually get out and start practicing it and start trying it out, you have no idea if you're going to do well. And this diet's the same way. You can read the books, you can watch the videos, but until you start practicing it, you're not going to get good at it. And when you first start it, you're going to suck. Guess what? If you're deciding right now, I'm going to start eating a plant-based diet, compared to me and Carrie, you're going to suck at doing this. Compared to Jean and Janet and Plant Powered Peddler and Pretty Girl's Mom and everybody, like I suck compared to them. Because they're so much better at it. You wouldn't think that somebody that has 2 years baseball experience would be as good as somebody who has 10 years baseball experience. Well, it's the same way with eating healthy. It's the same way with dieting, that I'm only as good as you can get in 800 and however many days I'm at. 884 days. I'm only as good as somebody can get in 884 days. And there's a finite amount, but 888 days from now, I'll be better at this diet than I am today. And it might not be twice as good, but it'll be better, or maybe it'll be 4 times as good as I am now. Who knows? But you can't, if your diet requires perfection, then you need a new diet. If your diet requires you to be on a routine that you can't deviate from, you need a new diet. Because that's not how life works. Life isn't always on a routine. Life isn't always perfect. And you need a diet that can fluctuate with life. It can deal with those changes. And for me, eating a plant-based diet does that. Again, I'm not hungry. I'm so full. I'm burping right now because of all the food that's in my stomach from today. and it's not not desperate for food. I'm not constantly starving. I'm not constantly looking around for food. I'm not constantly doing any of that. Let me see. I missed some conversation here. Gene's talking about the storm up where they were. But you were okay. Yeah, Carrie's just saying we heard you were up there. Pretty girl's mom. Oh, they're talking about the candied grapes. Is that what you're asking for a picture of, Gene? You were digging yourself out of a deeper hole. Right. So, yeah, as far as the weight loss that I have to lose, I think you're talking about, and I'm not sure what you're asking for a picture of. Was it for a picture of the candy snap grapes? I'm not sure. But yes, the first year I was committed. I was pick of the grapes. I could try to look it up. What are they called? They were called candy snap grapes. Let's see. Oh, what did I just move? Okay. So let's see what we can find on candy snap grapes. I think that they just kind of, it must be is that a brand name on them? Let's see. Here we go. Oh, it's showing more of the page than I thought it would. Let's see. Red candy snap. I don't know. They look delicious. They got 5-star reviews from one person. They must be delicious. Is Candy Snaps, is that the name of the company? No? I'm not sure. Anyways. But you say that they are red grapes. They're sort of strawberry flavored, and they are sweet. Yeah, this is what they seem to look like here. So that's some Candy Snap grapes. Is my audio working here? Okay. I don't know. I couldn't see. All right. So I'm back. It's oh yeah, no, I guess I wasn't referring to people being further along in their journey than I am. I just think that there's a lot of people that are more practiced at it than I am even. I guess that's what I was getting to at the time. Like the somebody can start this way of eating and have reached their goals faster than I reached my goals. It doesn't mean that they know how to eat this way better than me. But yeah, so your relativity from where you're at to your goal isn't where your success is determined. And maybe that's what people get confused by so much, and why we look at all these people that go online and they post these success stories, and then we look at, well, that person's at their goal, they must be great at this thing, and then you realize that it's just a false exterior. Like, I watch a lot of videos about people that are losing weight, and I try to watch. So if I see a video that it appears like it's up from like a person's channel, sort of like mine is, and it's from 5 years ago that they lost weight. I go to their channel and then I'm like, okay, where are your photos from last week, last month, this year? Like, so you succeeded 5 years ago. You went from 520 pounds to 280 pounds 5 years ago, but are you still 280 pounds? Because that's where the real success is, or are you lighter than the 280, because people can post this snapshot photo of my before and my after. And you look at that and you go, they went from not understanding how to lose weight to being a black belt in weight loss just based off this photo. But it's not true. Like, they're not necessarily, they might, and maybe they are. Maybe they're a black belt in weight loss, but they're not a black belt in sustainable weight loss. They're not a black belt in keeping the weight off. I think that is what so many people look at, where you are from your start point to what your goal is with your weight. And that's where they judge the success. And that's not, your success should be in how long can you sustain your diet? How long can you stay on your diet? How long can you continue to eat as healthy as possible? Like, that should be your goal. I'm not a black belt in weight loss. I don't want to get my black belt in weight loss. I want to get my black belt in healthy living and healthy eating. Like, that's what should be the focus. And you can't get that black belt just by seeing numbers on the scale go down. You have to do it by putting that time in. You have to learn about the food you're eating, the digestion of the food. You have to really understand more about your body's triggers and what tempts you and what things cause you to retain fluids or you to cause, have inflammation. And you have to become a master of your own body, not just a master of the scale. Like, we put so much focus on the scale, but you can manipulate the scale. I could manipulate the scale every single week I come here. I could decide, what, I'm not going to eat on Tuesdays before I weigh in. I'm not going to, or I'm going to eat lighter foods, or I'm going to eat different types of things, or not have fluids, or wait till a certain time of the day. Like, you can make the scale kind of move a little bit, to the way you want it to in that snapshot, but you can't take away the hours of listening to audio books and learning about these things. Let's see. Carrie says he feels like I should stop for grapes on the way home. I almost bought grapes the other day when I was shopping. I bought strawberries and I bought blackberries, I think my daughter asked about, and I saw grapes and I was like, well, I already got like 2 bags of frozen fruit and a bag of oranges and strawberry. I was like, I don't know if we can get through it all. I'm sure we could, though. And it is a type of grape. Okay, so let's see. Jean says you're not dealing with 5 other family members' needs at the same time. Yeah. And that you stayed at 170 pounds for months, and your body changed in that time. And I feel like, I've been at this 280 for months, I guess it feels like, but I've been between 283 and down to 272. But I do feel my body's in different shape, like when I was right at the 283, which was kind of my weight, I think, going into this year or the end of January. I can't remember. It might have been the end of January. It must have been. Yeah. So 283 was my weight at the end of January. And then I lost kind of 10 pounds through February and then put that 10 pounds back on. But my body doesn't, it feels different now than it did when I was at the beginning of February. Like my belt fits better, my clothes fit better. There's things that I'm wearing that I don't think that I would have felt even as comfortable in 2 months ago as I do today. And so, yeah, your body makes changes. And then Barb says to Gene, kudos for hanging tough when your weight wasn't moving the way you wanted it to, if it's not, again, it's that scale. We put so much pressure on ourselves from that scale, but if that scale's not moving, then it's not the scale's fault. Maybe you just need to, continue to learn about the way of eating, and maybe something you change has just that small ripple effect that you need to get the weight going in the right direction. Janet here says, darn scale. Yes, the scale can be tough, but you really have to understand that the scale is not, it's not the it's not the metric that you need to focus on. I know so many people focus on it, and I weigh, and it's something that, but it's a measurement device. It's the tape measure that you use to do the dimensions, but it doesn't have any effect. The scale doesn't cause you to gain weight, and it doesn't cause you to lose weight. So the power, if the scale's not moving, it's not the scale's fault, because it's just an inanimate object, and there's lots of things that cause the stalemates or whatever, just like, so it's really just something that you have to, like I said, use as a tool, but understand that it's just a tool and it's not the end of everything. So, yeah, my first year, losing 200 pounds in the first year, water fasting, eating large volume of food, whole food, plant-based, and I did very little exercise. Like I would say, in the whole year, I can kind of figure it out, because I gave myself 42 days to get ready for a sprint triathlon that I did. So I spent a month and a half working out in that entire year that I lost 200 pounds. Like that is not anything that I anticipated being able to do. I thought I would be at the gym 3 times a week the entire time, and that is not the case. I was able to lose my weight through diet alone. I would not give working out any credit for my weight loss in the first year, or really any credit for my weight loss in the 884 days that I've been doing it so far. I've been able to lose this weight through changing my diet. And that is the biggest thing that I hope anybody that is still watching this 48 minutes in would take away, is that I lost my weight by changing my diet. I didn't lose my weight by taking a pill or going to meetings or doing a program or buying a supplement or having a gadget strapped to me. I didn't do any of those things. I lost my weight by changing the food that I put in front of me, the food that I surround myself with. And that is the best way you could possibly do it. But I am going to have to take this call, or I'm going to have to call this person back now. So, I was getting ready to get off anyway. So I appreciate everybody for following along and all of the support that you've given me so far as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If anybody has, or if you have not, I don't know. Let's see what Gene here says. You did the reboot and you stalled after for a while, kind of like I did. And your friend who isn't a food addict wanted to eat later in the morning, so changed to his time, and it's pretty much identical to AJ feed time around amount and schedule is what you're doing now. So yeah, the reboot, it really did help clean up some things, and it definitely was nice to kind of lose that weight, but I did put it back on. Just kind of, I don't know if my body just got used to eating so much broccoli and it wasn't at first or what, but it just happened. But anyways, I'm out of here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, get subscribed to the channel. If you haven't clicked on the bell icon, click on the bell icon, hit that thumbs up, comment down below what you're having for dinner. Let me know. We're having Mega Veggie Chili because it's Mega Veggie Monday. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There is nothing more important than your health and your overall well-being. Nobody gets to their goals, looks back, and wishes that they would have waited. Everybody wishes they would have started sooner. So get started now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.